Welcome back to my channel. Stay tuned to our channel for sports and entertainment news all the time. Please subscribe the channel. Chael Sonnen dismisses any Conor McGregor UFC return as a silly proposition. You can't book him. Conor McGregor's fighting days may very well be behind him. Much has happened over the past 4 years away from competition for the former UFC 2 division champion. Over recent months, in particular, McGregor was found liable in a Dublin civil court case for a 2018 sexual assault and hit with another civil lawsuit for an alleged sexual assault in Miami in 2023. Just this past week, McGregor also dropped multiple racial slurs in an unhinged tirade against former UFC rival Khabib Nurmagomedov. Outside of some dismissive comments from UFC CEO Dana White, the company hasn't issued any extensive public responses or repercussions regarding McGregor or his future, leaving the door open for a possible return despite no timetable. Speaking Tuesday on Uncrowned's The Ariel Helwani Show, former UFC star Chael Sonnen assessed the situation the promotion faces with its biggest ever draw. Historically speaking, whatever is going on with the criminal courts all the way down to if you're dismissed or you got a trial coming up, whatever it is, the organization will recognize that's between you and the courts, Sonnen said. But whatever the final verdict, with the gavel coming down, we're going to go on that. Whether we think you're innocent or guilty, we're going to honor what the courts do. That's historically, but that is not clearing over to civil, and it's really never been tested to this degree. It was very different when it was a civil trial, and the intent was not to punish him by taking his time and freedom away, it was to have him write a check to you. It was just one of these things where nobody really knew how they were going to handle it, and then the ultimate suggestion is to go to Dana and say, hey, you've got to release the guy. And Dana has a hard time explaining to the audience, like, hey, if I'm personally pissed off at the guy, if I release him, there's nothing, I have no ability to do anything. Right now I've got him under contract, and if I'm personally upset with him, I don't have to book a fight involving him, which, by the way, I'm not. And Dana explained that to a degree, but he was letting people know, like, it's not a matter of release Conor and let Conor go somewhere else, Sonnen continued. If I release him, he goes somewhere else, he becomes a big star for somebody. He's with me and I'm not using him, he's sitting in Ireland watching the show on pay-per-view like everybody else. There's a level of that which makes a lot of sense. Although McGregor has been sidelined, he's remained in the combat sports scene by buying a piece of ownership in BKFC. The Notorious has repeatedly proclaimed his desire to compete in bare-knuckle boxing under the BKFC banner, even staging in-ring face-offs with Mike Perry and Jeremy Stevens. McGregor, 36, is still under UFC contract though. He suffered a second consecutive loss to Dustin Poirier after sustaining a grisly broken leg in his most recent Octagon appearance in July 2021. His big return was then scheduled for UFC 303 in June 2024 opposite Michael Chandler, and the pair even coached against each other on The Ultimate Fighter 31 to hype up their potential matchup. But just 2 weeks before fight night, McGregor withdrew from the bout, claiming to have broken his pinky toe. Despite White's continued optimism, however mild it may be, for a possible McGregor return, Sonnen believes the UFC 303 blunder will play a big part in why another McGregor fight never materializes. He pulled out of his last fight, which was a record gate, Sonnen said. He beat all of his own gate records. They had $25 million waiting for them for the live gate and they still had $2 million worth of tickets to sell. I'm just sharing, he is over and he is a star, and he was very much needed, and he pulled out of a fight. He pulled out of a UFC 303 press conference where they took an American company to Ireland, played the video game like everybody had set up shop. I mean, it's a big deal to leave them hanging right there. The official reason he did that is for a discolored pinky toe, which may or may not be broken and may or may not be his. He didn't take a picture of himself with the toe. He took a picture of a toe and posted it online and it was discolored, red, purple, and I'm sure it was very sore but with no evidence that it was broken or any evidence that it was even his. If you pull out of a fight because of a discolored pinky toe, which may or may not be yours, it may or not be broken, you're not fighting again. That's just the truth. Bare-knuckle boxing hasn't been the only form of combat to pique McGregor's interest during his UFC absence. Really, It's seemingly been anything boo, as McGregor also had the influencer boxing carrot dangled in front him by Jake and Logan Paul.